Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And I actually want to start off this video with a tweet that I made earlier today. So I said, we are at an extremely pivotal time in history. The next 5 to 10 years will create multimillionaires and even billionaires. Those that see the value behind DLT/blockchain technology will reap the rewards. The saying, largest wealth transfer, which I'm sure all of you have probably heard many times over the past couple years. And I know that this has lost a lot of its weight, meaning, the first time that you hear the largest wealth transfer in history is taking place. I mean, at first you're like, wow, this must be huge. But then after hearing it for so many times and for so long, you kind of think, well, whatever, it's nothing. It's just a big nothing event. But ultimately, this is actually happening. Like this is happening in real time. And yes, it does take time. That's why I said like the next 5 to 10 years. But as we do look at this, like I said, the truth behind it, though, is that 99% will be caught off guard. Digitization, tokenization of our global financial system is happening whether people like it or not. The new 1% will be forged through digital assets like XRP, XLM, HBAR, QNT, and so many other ones. I know I didn't mention Casper. I got a lot of slack about that. Casper is definitely up there. And then I also said, and I strongly believe that. Why? It's very simple. Look at the value of some of these markets being disrupted by these technologies. Cross-border payments, a $156 trillion market, $250 trillion by 2027. Global equity market, $107 trillion. The global real estate market, $300+ trillion. Global debt, $300 trillion. The list goes on and on. These technologies will disrupt every aspect of life by flowing into every single sector and industry we utilize on a day-to-day life. Some people can't grasp the idea of how large this revolution is. You have globalized de-dollarization happening, inflation just beginning with hyperinflation coming very soon, banks collapsing at an alarming rate, etc. The traditional world of finance is cracking and it's about to implode. Once the dust settles, everything will change forever. The new financial system on digital rails is coming. You can either prepare for it or ignore it. That's what will separate the 99% from the new 1%. And I do believe that that new 1% is rising. I believe that that new 1% will be forged through assets like XRP and so many other ones, because as we look at what's happening, the world of finance is changing. I've been looking at banks. We're now seeing bank accounts possibly being frozen now. Like the U.S. may freeze bank withdrawals as currency fear rises. Like this is wild to me. And this is what happens, during times like 2008. Everyone has been getting lied to. We have heard for the last couple weeks and even months now that the banking system is extremely secure. It's sound. Withdrawals and everything should not be, concerned at all. And it's all nonsense. Liquidity in the US. We've heard the Treasury and the Fed saying that liquidity in the US is at the strongest it's ever been. Like, okay, so let me explain this. Like, we have liquidity at the strongest point in the US, but we are struggling to raise the debt ceiling, which obviously we will. Inflation is brewing. And a lot of people think that, like, oh, well, the CPI report came in good. The CPI report doesn't include anything like food, gas, and utilities. It doesn't include any of that. So as we do look at what's happening, like the general public is being lied to. And if you could open your eyes, if you could wake up, and if you could see through all this nonsense, then you will be part of that new 1%. That new 1% is happening. And it's going to happen once we do see that implosion. 722 banks reported unrealized losses exceeding 50% of capital. Banks were starting to lose money on mortgages that they were loaning out. Like, this is what happens, during the finale of this massive collapse that's happening. And it's going to take some time. I said it. Like, a lot of people think that 2023 is when we see this. I don't think so. I think that this is going to stretch on a little bit. I think that 2024, 2025 definitely is going to be very interesting. We'll definitely watch this. We're going to watch this closely. And, a lot of people have asked me, like, how do we prepare for this? How do we get ready for all of this? Well, it's very simple, right? I'm stacking these utility tokens, making sure that I'm stacking these as much as possible, putting them in cold storage as well. And also, all while I'm doing this, I'm also stockpiling gold and silver, and I mean physical. And I seen somebody, comment on my video the other day, don't do physical because it's hard to move. I'm not going to do digital. I'm not going to do digital at all. Like, if you think that like them pausing your withdrawals, like them actually freezing your bank account and things like that is possible, then what makes you think that them, going in and, oh, look, your gold and silver that was digital is now gone. That could be like anything can happen. That's why I like to have physical silver as well as gold. It's the same reason why I cold storage my crypto, so that they can't touch it. But yes, I do think that things are happening rapidly, and I do think that Ripple is a key player around a lot of this. And guess what? XRP was the chosen one. Ripple chose XRP. And I know everyone is looking at the liquidity hub and they're saying, well, oh, XRP is not included in the liquidity hub. That's because their focus on XRP is much larger than this, but also XRP is still being scrutinized by the SEC. And I do think that that is a big, show. I've talked about it. Like, although, yes, I do pay attention to the lawsuit, I can't wait to put that behind us. It's definitely one of the biggest distractions around XRP. But if you could avoid it, and if you could look past that lawsuit and see what's happening on the other side of the bridge, then you will realize just how large XRP will essentially become. The easiest way, to me, that lawsuit is like the best way to shake out retail. The best way to shake out the weak hands. Why? I've said it time and time again. The retail sector is extremely impatient. They cannot wait. When you hear things like 5 to 10 years or, oh, it's going to take a little bit of time, they're instantly going on to the next big thing. Why do you think meme coins do so well in crypto? It's because it's instant gratification. I have utilized meme coins to quickly flip like $100 into $1,000 and put that right back into XRP. I've done it so many times because instant gratification will catch a lot of people and a lot of suckers. That's why you need to make sure that you are vigilant in this market. But it's also the main reason why I believe that XRP is experiencing the largest shakeout in history. The SEC lawsuit has been stretching on for almost 2.5 years. That is plenty of time to shake out the weak hands. Go look over on Twitter and read all the FUD about XRP. Go over on Twitter and see all of the other major trends and say, oh, I'm selling my XRP and I'm jumping into this. Because the retail sector cannot help themselves to chase green candles and chase trends. Focus on the bigger picture. And here you have a quick minute and 20-second long video. Hopefully YouTube doesn't mute the audio. I know that they've been muting audio on some videos, but this is the liquidity hub. And remember, XRP will be a part of this once that case is behind us. And I do think that that is going to happen. Even if XRP isn't tied to this, though, the value of XRP is not essential from liquidity hub. It's not. On-demand liquidity is huge. The XRP ledger is huge. There are so many other bigger options out there for XRP and XRP's utility outside of the liquidity hub. But listen closely.
Crypto is here. It's no longer an idea or on the horizon. It's already the reality of how businesses and people trade, move, and manage value. But despite a growing desire by businesses to engage in crypto, integrating digital asset solutions is complex. It often requires cumbersome integrations, has high costs, and involves engaging with fragmented, slow, and costly fiat payout landscape. At Ripple, we built Liquidity Hub to seamlessly bridge the new world of digital assets with the traditional world of fiat. The experience is plug and play, encompassing a single API connection into a breadth of liquidity pools. It offers optimized pricing via smart order routing, and through Ripple's suite of products, best-in-class last-mile fiat payouts into global jurisdictions will be available. Liquidity Hub powers interoperability between crypto and fiat systems, bridging digital assets seamlessly. Partner with Ripple for your crypto liquidity needs today.
And I do believe that crypto, digital assets, certain digital assets as well, will liquefy the traditional system. Because right now, liquidity is at the worst, it's just not healthy at all. The global liquidity crisis is brewing. I've talked about it. I do think that we are going to see a major liquidity problem, and we're already starting to see that. A lot of these asset classes that I talk about are illiquid. The real estate market, illiquid. The equity market does not have the liquidity that it needs to back the overall amount tied to it. Like, a lot of these asset classes are illiquid. What do you see down here? XRP will seamlessly bridge the new world of digital assets with the traditional world of fiat. That's what the overall goal is. And I've talked about it many times on this channel. And a lot of people think that, like, oh, it's just hopium. XRP is doing nothing. Like, you wouldn't believe the amount of comments I get on this channel that are saying XRP still at 40 cents. XRP is at, 30, 40, 50, 60 cents. Because everyone wants to have that overnight price action of XRP going to 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000. Like, we've been hearing so many things about XRP for so long. And although, yeah, it does get tiresome, you got to understand the overall vision here. When we look at what's happening around crypto, I have zero doubt. We have seen major players come and go around crypto, but for the most part, the big names are still here. And they will be here for years and years and years to come. Look at over here. One man from private sector in a room full of central banks. This is from Anderson. We do see later on that same year, 2019, the BIS Innovation Hub was opened up in Switzerland, Hong Kong, and Singapore. Here you guys have Brad Garlinghouse sitting next to all of the big central bankers. Like, you got to realize what's actually happening here. The connections that are happening here. Ripple is playing a big role in the evolution of the financial system. I have zero doubt on that. We do see over here, blockchain and digital assets use in Asian. CEO Brad Garlinghouse in convo with IMF's Ross Lecco, which, by the way, I just recently had a video with both of these individuals from this festival, because this was in Singapore, and this is from 2018. And here you guys have Brad Garlinghouse. Let me actually open this tab up in a new video, or in this image in a new tab. So this is from that video, and we do see these are all the votes. And you see Brad Garlinghouse literally sitting with this guy, talking to him from the IMF, and we see some of these votes. Will central bank issued digital currency become a reality in the next few years? It already is, all right? How blockchain can aid the exporter payments? We already know XRP is doing a huge amount of work in that sector. How soon do you think a single blockchain technology will obtain critical mass and move to more ubiquitous adoption across the world? How does Ripple work with central bankers? Do you see IMF holding crypto assets in the future? Is Ripple planning to expand to a broader audience than its core remittance market in the Asian region, given 50% of its business is in this region? What are the goals for Ripple in 2019 and beyond? And this one up here was the one that got a lot of the spotlight. Does the IMF see themselves holding crypto assets in the future? And I do think that they will. But this was a huge one, because like, this is literally the Deputy General Counsel at the IMF, and you have Brad Garlinghouse up there. You don't have any other major player from the crypto scene. You have Brad Garlinghouse. And I've talked about like why this is big. Like, a lot of people look at this and say, oh, well, this is a big nothing. This is from 2018. Who cares about that? You know, there's a lot of presentations from 2018, 2017, and they are very large presentations. Like, here you have transforming global payments, enabling the internet of value. This is happening. This is happening in real time. And although a lot of people want to look at this and say, well, it's from so long ago, everything is being put in place to focus on the next big evolution. And the evolution is the new financial system. It's coming. It's being built. It's happening. ISO 20022, that helps all of this become a reality as well. I remember everyone saying that that was a big nothing event. And although, yes, it was for price action, which everyone was focused on. That's the biggest problem around XRPs. Everyone's only focused on one thing, and that's extracting value from it. They don't really see the value in XRP. But as we do look at what's happening, like, we are seeing a global network of banks being created through RippleNet. And I do believe that they will source the power of digital assets like XRP. It's already painted for you. When you look at some of the things from the IMF, like, here's the IMF. This is from, I believe this is from 2018, 2018 as well. Trust bridges and money flows, a digital marketplace to improve cross-border payments. Okay, now in this, you can see, them talking about, so this is actually from March of 2023. I was wrong. This is actually from this year and from March of 2023. When we look into this, you could see the overall focus here on what they want to do. It's all centered around cross-border payments, obviously, but there's only one digital asset mentioned here. You see DeFi, you see CBDCs, the BIS, all of that being mentioned here. But look at this, XRP, crypto asset by Ripple. It's the only one that's actually tied to this glossary. You see USD coin too. And then you see liquidity and real-time gross settlement. There's only one cryptocurrency on this paper, and it's XRP. And you see the entire discussion is around, cross-border payments and CBDCs, tokenization, things like that. To me personally, this tells me that XRP has already been chosen for many, many years. Yeah, we go back to 2017, we go back to 2018. We can go back a whole decade. Everything that has happened in the last decade around Ripple and XRP is proof of what's coming. And when we come down here, three models arise: a private settlement asset and marketplace, such as Ripple's XRP, an open source marketplace such as the Stellar Foundations, or more recently, DeFi Networks, which, by the way, I do like the fact that we are seeing Stellar mentioned here. Again, a lot of people think that XLM and XRP are working against each other. I personally believe that these two are actually complementing each other, and I've talked about that many, many times on this channel. But they do mention the Strike network and things like that, which, by the way, I think that this is a big nothing burger. I think that Bitcoin and the Lightning Network is far too inefficient to become a major payment means, and I've talked about that many times in the past. But we do see liquidity pools too. I believe that we are going to see a liquidity pool being created with XRP on the XRP ledger. And I think that we are going to see banks tapping into that. And I think that is probably one of the most bullish speculation ideas around XRP and the XRP ledger, where you could actually loan out your XRP to banks for them to utilize it as a liquidity or even just payment means. There's a lot of things tied to this. But I'm going to actually include this Medium post. This is actually from Anderson, going all the way back to 2019. And we do see Ripple's connections with the IMF and central banks. This is a very, very interesting overall Medium post, and it does connect everything. I mean, we talk about Christine Lagarde, we talk about the IMF, we talk about central bankers, we talk about all of that. This is something that I'm going to leave down in the description. I think everyone should read it because it even highlights how the US dollar at this point in time was not as optimal for a world's reserve currency as other currencies out there and things like that. We're kind of already seeing the writing on the board, if you will, and everything is coming in real time. And the last couple of years alone has been a time for anyone that is awake to really realize what's happening. And those that can see it. Those that can't. And it's that simple. That's, like I said, what will separate the 99% from the new 1%. And I know everyone hates waiting, but the best things in life are worth the wait. And this largest wealth transfer in history, I know that has been that terminology that's gotten thrown around so much. That's happening. It's happening. And yes, it's going to take some time, but everything is trickling in all at once. We talk about XRP, we talk about XLM, we talk about HR, we talk about QNT. All of these assets, what do they all have in common? They are disrupting real world major industries and sectors in real time. It's the same reason why I focus so much going all the way back to 2019, where Ripple was talking about those 300 customers. And when you looked at some of these 300 customers, yeah, sure, there was FX, use cases and companies out there that were just fintech companies. But then when you actually look at the banks, there's 38 of the top 100 banks that have utilized and tapped into Ripple in the past. This goes all the way back to January of 2020. And although, yes, a lot of this has changed, a lot of these banks are still working with Ripple. And I do think that, everyone has been focused so much on, Bank of America. Is Bank of America still working with Ripple? I think that's all nonsense. Who cares, right? To me personally, Bank of America has already come out and said they want to utilize on-demand liquidity once regulatory clarity is there. But in my opinion, all of these banks, will be utilizing either one Ripple technology or some sort of other crypto digital asset, or just crypto technology itself, because it's far too big to ignore now. And these banks realize it. They understand it. They understand how it could liquefy the system. They understand how large of an innovation this actually is. That's why we are at a major pivotal time in history. And I think everyone that is awake for this is going to really see the overall value behind it, as well as reap the reward. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord. And there's so much other things down in the description below. Definitely go check it out. And also, with that being said, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are on this. Before this has been Nick. Peace out, guys.